Resonance presents an imaginative day of artist expression, April 18th, starting at 3 p.m. Enjoy Louisiana artists and musicians like Damon Batiste. This is a 21 and up event. General admission is $50 with tables available for purchase. Come experience the culture.
Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.
Good morning, Central Louisiana, and welcome back to part two of our conversation with the candidates that are running for the Chief of Police there in Bunkie. I'm your host, Jack. Before we begin, I want to, it's really important to us over at UrbanCast that our community stay civically involved. We don't care who you vote for, but we want folk to start showing up for their community. In the state of Louisiana, about 500,000 voters were moved from active voters to inactive voter lists. If you don't get out there and go vote, you will be removed from the voting roll. And that's a significant number. That's almost 20% of the registered voters in the state of Louisiana. So that number is off the chain. So we want to make sure that you go check it. And all you got to do is go out there to www.govote.com. And I think it's going to ask you for your name, birthday, and then the last four, something on your driver's license, and you can check and see if you enact. If so, you know what you need to go do. You need to give your call to the your registrar of voter office in whatever parish that you're in. We want to thank our silver sponsor, Acadian Ambulance. Without your support, we couldn't keep these type of conversations going with the community. So we definitely want to say thank you to Acadian Ambulance. This hour, we're going to continue that Bunkie Chief of Police race coverage with Byron Juneau. For those watching, you're more than welcome to drop your questions over here in the comments. We're going to try to bring them in. We got some set questions where we're going to try to make sure we keep things fair, but we'll try to bring them in. But before we begin, Byron, welcome to the Let's Talk Show. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and all of that kind of stuff, what you did in your past life and all that stuff.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for the invite. And I think this media thing is really important. And it's going to get the vote out and everybody have their opinion. My name is Byron Juneau. Born and raised here in Bunkie. Went to high school here in Bunkie at Bunkie High School, graduated in 1976. Went on to Southern University in Baton Rouge, obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in secondary education. Taught school for about 5 years and decided that wasn't the career, that wasn't the direction I wanted to go in. So I changed directions, and my direction led me toward law enforcement. And my first days in law enforcement, I did a little time with Bunkie Police Officer as a volunteer. It wasn't really anything that I really learned. It wasn't until I moved on to the Falls Parish Sheriff Department, and I went in there as a patrolman. I was patrol deputy for 3 years, and then I was promoted to detective/narcotics for 3 years. Well, those 6 years at the Sheriff Department were very successful. I did a lot of enforcement there. I learned a lot. I went to a lot of training. I learned a lot of investigations. I actually experience I have in criminal investigation. I worked 2 homicides while I was there in those 3 years, and were able to close them successfully. And I worked many rapes, thefts. I got experience then, which later on, after 6 successful years with Sheriff Department, I was hired by the Louisiana State Police in 1994, where I successfully passed the State Police Academy, and I went on to work at Troop E. I worked uniform patrol when I first went to Troop E in '94, about a year and a half, and then I was transferred into the Bureau of Investigations, working narcotics. Well, I successfully worked there for about 15 years, and then after 15 years of narcotics, I transferred back to patrol. And that's why I did about 13 years. I did a total of 28 years of Louisiana State Police. That last year before my retirement, I was in the criminal intelligence unit, and I enjoyed it. But I had 28 years of success with the Louisiana State Police, and I retired with many accolades, a lot of training. I mean, a lot of training and experience that gives me the opportunity to share that experience with the citizens here in Bunkie. I think I owe them that.
So Byron, tell me, bottom line, why are you running for? Why you told us about your history and all that, your work experience and all that. Why are you running for the chief of police of Bunkie?
Well, when I retired 4 years ago, come October this year, I was approached by a lot of citizens, and they wanted me to run for police chief then, and I just didn't see it. I figured 34 years of law enforcement, I'd go and do something else because, like I say, I do have a degree in education, and I thought I'd go maybe teach, but I don't want to be caught up in a classroom. And after sitting in the recliner here for 4 years, almost 4 years, I decided that I needed to go after much prayer, and I prayed on it. And I think God answered the prayer that I need to get out and continue my public service, at least for a few more years, and along with encouragement and discussion with the family. And I just decided that I need to come out of the chair and help. There's a lot of things going on in this little town that I know that I can be a positive figure in the community, and it can help curtail some of this crime that's going on. In fact, I know I can. That's what I did my whole career. And the citizens of Bunkie, they know me. They know me, and when I worked with state police and sheriff department.
You bring 28 years with this with the state police and 6 years with Valls Parish Sheriff Department. How does that experience shape your approach to leading a local department?
Well, my outlook and if I was a young guy deciding to want to go into law enforcement, well, I would seek a department that has leadership. I would seek a department that someone that can lead me into the field that I want to go in, which would be in law enforcement. And with the experience I have and the training I've had, I have a lot of training. I possess those leadership skills, and I can bring this to young officers. In fact, I have a plan that whereas state police has, when you become a trooper, when you get out of that academy, the training don't stop there. A lot of these small departments the training stop there. Well, you need to do what is called a field training officer. You need a field training officer. You need to bring that experience you have. And with the size of the department Bunkie has here, I planned on doing that. I planned on being that field training officer because of the experience I have. And I've already started to gather up a packet on the do's and the don'ts and what you need to be doing. And I planned on riding with each officer and sharing that experience that I have, the do's and the don'ts, the safety issues. Because to me, you go to the basic police academy, which I've been to, Alexandria Regional. I've been to 2 police academies. Well, you go there to learn how to survive out here on the streets. You learn a little bit about the law, but you learn how to survive on the streets, your survival, officer survival. And then you learn to police the community by experience from other officers. And I have that experience. I have 34 years of law enforcement experience. And I learned that a long time ago when I first got out there. And with the sheriff department, we had to learn it as we went. But with the state police, they grasped. They're a larger agency, which I'm glad I did. And I had a great time with the state police. I learned a lot. And I want to share.
Right. You've emphasized being proactive. What does proactive, and you kind of explained it there, but I want to just pull it out. What does proactive look like in Bunkie on a day-to-day basis?
You got to come out of the office. You got to get in that unit. You got to get your patrol officers out there. Yes, and they got to be actively involved in the community actions. You got to, I want to implement a community policing thing. I'm from the community. I grew up here. I know everybody. Everybody know me. I mean, being retired here, I'm able to move around. I'm able to talk to people. People tell me things that I have to tell a lot of people. They come into my house. Look, Juneau, I got this. I say, well, I'm not the police anymore. You need to go to the police department. Or I share information with Chief Mays. I've shared information with him before. But being proactive that, you know, these youngsters got guns. You got to go out there and you got to interact. You got to take their guns. You got to keep them from killing each other. You got to, and I worked with the state police when I was in uniform patrol. I worked on a team called E-Team. And what I would do this way, we didn't work Rex. What I would do this way on the E-Team was to go out and be active patrolman. We were looking for guns. On a normal traffic stop, I might stop you for running a red light, and I stop and we had a conversation. And then if there's a check done on you, and now you may have a history or something, or a report or something, you got to know how to go out there and have a conversation with people. A lot of times people tell you things by just having, you got to look beyond the ticket. We looked beyond the ticket and we had a conversation, and we were able to make arrests, take guns off the streets, dope off the streets, and we were able to just make arrests based upon a conversation. And I think our biggest thing here is that these youngsters got these guns. They don't fist fight anymore. They pulling guns. So my thing is that I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to be out there ahead of this. I'm not going to be reactive. I'm going to be proactive. I want to be out there. I want to be stopping and talking to these youngsters. And I do now. And they know me. Everybody in this community know me. And they know what kind of police and know how fair I am. And I believe in integrity, honesty, and confidence. You got to be confident in what you do. And you got to be safe. You definitely got to be safe. Because this day and time, the bad guy don't care about the police. They don't fear the police, which we shouldn't be feared. Police shouldn't be feared, but you should be respected, because you give respect, you get respect. I treat you like a person, but that comes with training. You got to be trained.
You've worked at the local, the state, and the city level. I mean, the kickoff of your career. How do you think those relationships? How do you think those relationships are going to benefit Bunkie, especially with a police department with limited resources?
Well, again, I'm a community person. I get out in the community. Everybody know me. I talk to people, and with that, and I have the type of personality that I like to listen, because when you're talking, I'm listening, and you'll say something that I can pick up on. And you got to have a lot of training. Again, training is my number one thing. My thing is this: if I got 2 police officers and they need to go to a diversity school, because when I become police chief, all the police officers will go to diversity training. I've been through it. It's great, because you need to know how to deal with people, deal with people of different races, different ethnicities, and different religions. And it's a lot of training out there. And what's important these days, and I think what's most important, you got to know when an officer approaches a person, you got to know whether they drugged up or whether they're a mental patient. You got to have a lot of training on that, because you'll know how to deal with them then. I've been through that. I've come across people full of drugs and mental patients where you just have to talk to them, give them their moment, and you'll get a whole lot out of them. And like I said, my experiences with state police, it was so vast. I worked Mardi Gras in New Orleans every year since I had been on state police. I worked plain clothes and I worked uniform. And you come across people from all over the world. And that experience alone gives me the training and the knowledge just to get out there. Like I said, everybody know me in the community. Right. There's anybody out here that don't know me.
Look. So one of the things our communities are facing, the smaller communities such as Bunkie, Marksville, here in Alexandria, is violent crime. How I know Chief Murphy Paul down in Baton Rouge, one of your former colleagues.
My classmate.
A classmate, all right.
My classmate, state police classmate.
Chief Murphy Paul said, when the police get involved in something, all other systems have failed, is one of the things that he said. And when we've had the opportunity to interview Chief Paul as well, and one of the things that he's talking about, when the police get involved in a situation, all of the other systems have failed. How do you plan on reducing the violent crime in Bunkie, specifically as it relates to the younger folk who are committing these crimes?
Well, I planned on, as I stated earlier, trying to turn the department into community police. And again, by knowing a lot of people, knowing the people in the community, I'm able to reach out, because I know where the hot spots are here in Bunkie. When I say hot spots, I know where the youngsters hang out. And then they need something to do. I believe Bunkie, and I still said in my announcement that Bunkie Police Department is a small department, and they have limited resources. So my thing is that I plan on reaching out to these churches, community organizations, outside organizations, to come in and give these youth something to do. Now, there's some church-based youth programs here in Bunkie, and I plan on making myself available, being that example, and making sure that the conversation we have, and I'm a church-going man. I want to go to these different churches. These where these youths are gathering. Some of them that they're in high school. And some of these kids are victims of other kids that don't go to school or go to school for unknown reasons other than getting their education. So you got to reach out to the families, and you got to reach out and find out what's going on. And one of my plans is as when I become chief, is to give the community 1 hour a month, like they have a council meeting once a month. I planned on implementing a program maybe an hour before the council meeting, going in and letting the community know, I want to know your concerns, your gripes, your complaints. Tell me what I need to be working on. Give me feedback. And that's what I'm planning on doing. It's like our businesses. Our businesses is our base for tax revenue. That's who pay the police department, the city employees. Well, we need to be out going door to door, making sure our businesses are safe. We need to make sure that and there's always people coming through Bunkie that we don't know. Stop and have a conversation. Stop and find out if you can help them, if somewhere you need to get them, or you need to just know you got to know your town. You got to know the people, but you got to get out in the community to know that. And I'm always out in the community. Like I said, I'm always been a go person. And I laugh because I wanted to move out of the country one time, and my wife said no because you stay gone. So she don't want to be out there by herself.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question here, and this is gonna go into the juvenile crime. I'm just trying to figure out, and the public really want to understand juvenile crime is growing. It's a big growing concern.
I agree.
I hear the conversations, the town halls and things like that, dedicated to crime and things. But what specifically, from a youth standpoint, what kind of programs are you going to try to institute to reach them at an earlier age? Because it seems like these crimes that young adults are committing, they're getting younger and younger and younger. And so anything in specific with the younger group?
Well, like I said earlier, I plan on going to these churches and trying to implement these churches, the inner city churches, and try to get together with the leaders, with the pastors and stuff in the churches, and see if we can't get some type of program going that would involve the police department heavy. And then if we get these, especially like those high school kids, and what I'm doing now, since I'm not working on, I substitute on a regular basis, substitute teacher at the elementary school. So I know a lot of kids, all the kids over there, they know me, and I know their parents, and I got a good relationship with them. I can talk to them. And, you know, and a lot of times these children dealing with attitude problems, and I always like to call them on the side and talk to them, say, what we got going on today? Well, Mr. Juneau, I got this going on there. And so now you got to know how to deal with them. Well, I plan on implementing some type of program. I'm not exactly know what it is yet, but it's going to have to deal with the youth. That's the only way we're going to keep them from killing each other out here, as well as we getting out here being trained and know how to deal with them. Because a lot of times you see these kids walking around with these backpacks. Well, guess what? Some of these backpacks got guns in them. And not even being a police officer, I conversate with these kids now because I want to help deter. You know, I'm a church-going person, and I believe in loving everybody, regardless of what you may do or what you may have done. And I planned on doing something with these youth, but it takes a community to raise these children. It takes a community to get involved. We can't sit back and say, well, this person don't want you talking to their kid. Well, guess what? They're not going to have a choice. Talk to us. Let's find out where the frustration is. What makes you that angry where you have to grab a weapon and use it upon one of your other classmates or something? You know, we're going to have to come together as a community. And I think it starts with our churches and our schools. And I plan on going into the schools. Okay.
All right. You know, over the last week or so, we started getting inundated with calls coming in from down in the Bunkie and the Marksville area, and for whatever reason, it appeared that a new bill has been introduced there in the Marksville area, and called House Bill 1165. I have someone interfering with my phone right now, so I apologize for that. But House Bill 1165 would eliminate the Marksville and the Bunkie City Courts and shift that system to a district level. As a candidate for Chief of Police, what is your position on this bill, and how do you believe it will impact the access to justice there in Bunkie and local jobs in Bunkie?
Well, I've heard about Bill 1165. I haven't read it. I've read a lot of information from other people that has information on it, and I'm totally against it. I'm totally against it. I don't think our city courts should be eliminated because you're correct. There's just juvenile crime has risen, and a lot of times through city court, these juveniles are assigned to do different type community service works. So if you eliminate this, now you're dealing with a third judge and a bigger court that has to deal with more than Bunkie and Marksville. But I think taking the power of the people to elect a judge here that can sit here and handle the misdemeanor crimes that are committed here in Bunkie is an asset to Bunkie. And I don't think it should be removed, by no means necessary.
Point blank, I guess that sounds very clear. It shouldn't be removed.
Shouldn't be removed. I'm totally against it.
Totally against it. All right, I hear you. How will you ensure accountability and professionalism within the department?
I'm gonna be transparent, and like I said, everybody know. The majority of people here know me, and there's people here that, in my younger law enforcement days, that I had to encounter and I had to deal with, and they're now real productive citizens and they're voting citizens, and they've come to me and expound on the fact that I helped turn their life around when I stopped them from doing what they were doing in the past, and they really thanked me for it. And now they're some of my biggest supporters. And I said, and the first thing I say, ain't God good? God is great. And I'm leaning on my Lord and Savior to give me the knowledge and to keep me on the path that he had me on before I retired. It's just a continuation. I'm coming off the sideline back into the game. And I plan on being fair, and integrity is one of my biggest things.
Doing what you're supposed to do when ain't nobody looking.
When ain't nobody looking.
All right, I hear you. Now, with that said, now from a media perspective, Chief Mays instituted some policies over there in in the city of Bunkie, and he made sure that media had access to him. My question to you is, will you continue those particular policies and making sure that the department stays transparent with the public? Because we work with you guys and we help folk understand what's going on. They're certainly our eyes and ears and stuff that's going on in Bunkie. So I just want to make sure that this relationship that or this policy that Chief Mays put in place, we're gonna make sure it stay down there.
By all means,
I
plan on being transparent in the media. I plan on being accountable to the media. And what I like about your Urbancast media is that I follow you. Okay. And I notice when they have something going on in, like, say, Alexandria, y'all there, and y'all wanting the public to stay out of the area if something's going on, which I think is great. So by all means, I plan on implementing the policy that the media be abreast of what's happening in Bunkie. Okay. Even though we're small, we still should be accountable for our actions. What are we doing?
Well, I tell you what, the department, I don't have nothing negative to say about the department on that aspect. Never had a situation, in the past where we ran across anything. That's why I want to make sure it stay that way. But we have a good relationship with lots of departments all the way around the community. So I just thought I was going I'm protecting our industry over here.
I understand. I understand. That's your job.
All right. After decades in law enforcement, what makes you the right person for the job right now to lead the department? Bottom line.
My experience, my training, and my willing to listen. Sometimes you got to sit back as a police officer. You got to listen to the public, what they're saying. Sometimes, as being an authoritative person, we seem to overtalk a person. But I learned patience. I've always been fair, but I learned patience. Listen to, you got to be able to read the room, and know what's going on. And my biggest thing is that the people of this town, Bunkie, within the city limits, the voting public, will make a decision on May 16th on who they want to be police chief. They're either going to vote to leave it like it is, or they're going to vote to move in a different direction. And I'm in it to win it. And I can assure you, by all means, I'll be the next police chief in Bunkie come May 16th.
All right, I hear you. Now I'm gonna be a little messy. They say Urbancast get a little messy every once in a while. This morning I got up and I was reading the comments out there about the candidates for the chief of police at Bunkie, and I asked your opponent over there to tell me something good about Byron, and now I'm gonna ask Byron to tell me something good about his opponent over there. So I told you I'm being a little messy over here at Urbancast, and so
okay.
But it was refreshing.
Yes,
it was refreshing to read, and I don't always get an opportunity to read all of the comments that people put out there, Brian. But this morning something caught my attention, and I went out there and I looked, and I was like, wow, this is something. And when I started seeing, the comments about people who knew you guys as you guys grew up, and they are talking about the good things that both of you guys bringing to the table, I had to bring that. I had to bring that into this equation and have a conversation about. So tell me something good about Brand.
Okay, Mr. Harden is my neighbor. He lives about a block and a half down the street. We live on the same street. We're a block and a half. We can see each other's house. He's a good man, and good luck, Brandon. Good luck, sir.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. Well, I tell you what, before we get ready to leave out of here, Byron, is it anything you want to say to the public there in Bunkie?
Yes. I want to say that my mission is to uphold integrity and to continue law enforcement unwavering. And I'm asking each and every one of you to get out modestly and vote Juneau, number 48 on May 16th. And I guarantee I won't let you down as your police chief.
All right. I definitely want to say thank you for your time this morning. We had a good conversation and all that. And I hopefully the voters there in Bunkie uh, have picked up on what they're going to use to make as a choice and all that kind of good stuff. To everyone watching, please don't forget to go out there and check your voting registration status. No matter how on that day is ready to get out there and go vote, if you can't, it's going to be on you. Our objective is to make sure everybody can do it. And all you got to do is go out there to www.govote.com and check your voter registration status. We want to definitely thank our silver sponsors, a sponsor, Acadian Ambulance. They make these kind of conversations happen. And or they empower us to make these type of conversations happen. And we also want to thank our business partners, Sadler's Towing, Long's Product, Nader International Markets, the Threadhead Embroidery, Elegance Beauty Supply, and O'Mel's Farms. We truly appreciate it because without you guys, we couldn't sit down and have these conversations with these folk who want to lead our communities. I'm Jack. This is Urban Cast. As we always say over here, stay informed and stay engaged on everything about your community. See y'all next time. And again, I'm gonna say again, Byron, thank you. If you can hold tight, if you can hold tight right quick, I'm gonna go ahead and end it. All right.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Resonance presents an imaginative day of artist expression, April 18th, starting at 3 p.m. Enjoy Louisiana artists and musicians like Damon Batiste. This is a 21 and up event. General admission is $50 with tables available for purchase. Come experience the culture.
Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.